All right, everybody. So a little bit different program today. I don't know how the audio is going to be. I forgot my phone at home, and so we're streaming directly from the laptop, which is a little bit weird, which is why they off. I'm going to try to do some stuff about that quick before we really get going. So yeah, nobody yet. I'll be in and off the camera for a few minutes. Trying to tilt it down a little bit so you can see more of the action. And I think that's probably as good as it's going to get. So try to be on a bit. So good morning. Welcome to the kitchen. Again, the best, as TJ would say, the best production quality. Today's shirt is brought to you by Special Operations Equipment. This was their Halloween shirt. It's pretty awesome. Tactical gear, nylon gear, lifestyle gear. John and Amanda, SOEtactical.com. Original SOEgear.com. I don't know. I say it 10,000 different ways. Google Special Operations in Camden, Tennessee. You'll find it. So, also, today we are talking, because my other one's dirty, the Special Operations Equipment, custom made for AJ, Typhon Toxic. So we get this all set up. What are we making today? We got some diced chicken that we're going to run through and sear saute, and then we're going to roll into AJ's version of chicken marsala, which is probably not chicken marsala, but hey, we're going to make it anyway, and we'll kind of go from there. So we'll get the heat on, get some oil in, and go from there. Let's see, before we do that, live chat so that if anybody shows up, we're good to go. And then we're going to put on some gloves. So, because until I take my gloves off, everything's just going to set right there. I guess if I work over here, we're good to go. We'll do that. So, avocado is what we use. Don't like none of that cannoli stuff. Be fairly generous with our portions today. This is my first time cooking off chicken breast in here. Gotta do the wash. I don't have a hat and I don't have a tank to catch it, but so first time doing chicken breast in here. I've got 80 pounds of chicken breast diced. Diced up by the help squad while I was working on something else. So, right here, this guy right here, this is a batch of broth that's working down right now. It's got a lid on it, so I'm going to kind of use that as a staging area. So, temperature coming up on this. I don't want to get like a sizzle, hot sear, crust the crap out of everything. I'm looking for more of like a light roast. Ordinarily, we bake our chicken in the double oven. Logic Zephyr 200, best ones you can get for doing what we're doing, and bakery stuff. So typically we bake them in the oven and then dice them after the fact. This time for the marsala, we're going to try searing it off and then going backwards, and then it's already diced. So we tried to do the dice ahead of time. We'll see how that works out. So I'm going to grab that. right. It's a lot of chicken. Test the sizzle. Oh yeah. Yeah, see, we're not really sizzling, and I'm okay with it. So we're gonna scoop this out because as chicken does, there's a little bit of chickeny juice in the bottom of the pan. We're gonna try to leave that behind because it gets kind of scummy when it gets cooked. So this head. Put that out a little bit. I think. Turn this heat off for just a second. So we don't get too far ahead of ourselves. And I think we're going to do all 80 pounds at once. I know I can do 100 pounds of ground beef in here at a time, no problem. So actually wasn't that much juice in here, just kind of maybe half a cup. Yes, that chef reaction guy would say work fast. Well, I'm live right now, so I'm not going to do that. So, one pan down. Yes, I still have a chickeny hand. Next pan, I'm just going to kind of move this stuff around real quick. All right, 80 pound chicken in. And we're back. Okay. You know, raw chicken, you got to do raw chicken things. Change gloves in there. So we're going to have our heat back onto this. It's going to come back up to temperature relatively quickly. It's like a couple 100,000 BTUs of heat in there. So pretty awesome. We're going in with pepper. Now, that looks like a lot of salt, and it's going to look like even more pepper. But guess what? It's 80 pounds of chicken here. And we're just, really what we're doing is we're going for a little layer of season to then add on top of, in with everything, so you're not just getting a bite of bland chicken with the sauce that goes with it. So, stir this around a little bit. That actually turned into probably what I think is a little bit too much in here, but that's okay. We're going to work with it. Now we're going to take this guy right there while it all kind of simmers off. And then we got this bad boy, lid cometh down to, put a pot on the lid, give it a little bit more even cook. So, yeah, 10 minutes in. Not much done. This is cooking. This is what we do. So, how was your weekend? Mine was a little rough. My 5-year-old decided to crack his head open, split down the back on the corner of a wall, and the ER till midnight on Thursday night. Friday was just like hang out with a kid that doesn't feel good. Lots of stuff on the couch. And then, of course, Saturday, Sabbath. So we hung out, and yesterday came to work early and did some work on the broth. And then we went to a birthday party for one of the church with the 12-year-old, all kind of same age bracket. Hung out with the dad, and now we're here cooking off some chicken. So, yee. Okay. So we're gonna open this back up. Gonna give it a stir. This is 80 pounds of chicken breast here. Lots of stirring to do. See, we got a couple people watching. So like, comment, say something. Okay, well, it's time for the big gun. All right. This is how we cook, right here. Row your boat down the stream. Cook 80 pounds of chicken breasts. Your bank account screen. I shouldn't add this, but. Give that a stir and we'll settle it back down. Get a little more heat. And that's what we do. Well, if you're just, we have 80 pounds of diced chicken breast in our tilt skillet. We're making some chicken marsala for freeze-dried meals, and just got done stirring it and kind of letting it cook off a little bit. Kind of a slow part of the process here, but leave a chat, send a message on there. We can have a conversation while we're cooking. Have you ever cooked 80 pounds of chicken in a single go before? I'm doing it for my first time today. People. Good morning and welcome to the kitchen. My name's AJ. We make freeze-dried food. Today we're working on 80 pounds of chicken that we're going to put into chicken marsala and freeze-dried meals. So, where are you watching from? What are you up to this morning? Or just leave. That's okay. Now, as Emerald says, we're seasoning in layers. So, I'm going to drop some more salt in here. Again, 80 pounds of chicken. So, a little salt doesn't go very far. And then we're just going to drop the rest of this cracked pepper in here. Fill that container. And we stir with our oar. Like we're going down the whitewater rapids of Chickenville. You know, y'all could make this way more interesting if you would hit that like button there and like type a message. Make this a conversation. Show you what we got working on over here. That is Simmerwell beef broth that is cooking off for the last about hours or so of its cook life, and then we'll start cooling it down. Wow. Move the camera, lost 5 people. Oh well. So we simmer our beef bones for 24 hours. And then in the last About 3 hours when we add our vegetables to it, our carrots and onions and celery. And that allows for the all the goodness to be extracted out of the bones, but we don't have the adverse effect of the vegetable flavor getting either too severe and causing it to taste sticky, or just completely turn it into mush, and then it turns into like a stew byproduct instead of stock. So that's why we add it at the end. And then when we chill it, when it's done, we're doing this all in a commercial kitchen here. And so when we chill it, we actually use a wort chiller for brewing beer. It's a spiral-shaped stainless steel tube that you run cold water through, and it pulls all the heat out of it so that we can maintain our temperature safety vectors. And then it goes in the fridge to finish chilling all the way, and then we pre-freeze it, and then we freeze dry it, and then we individually package it and send it to your door. And that's what we've done the longest. And here recently we added these freeze-dried meals. And this one's under R&D yet. We've got 6 meals that are available to the public. We've got 10 meals that we make on a consistent basis. And even though we have 6 meals available to the public right now, we're still R&Ding more. I got an itch on my chin, so I'm scratching with the foot. All right, so this appears to be all kind of brown on the outside, not like your serious brown that you would see in a pan, because there's a moisture. You know, chicken these days, when you buy chicken, they say, up to 10% moisture content. Well, that's a lot more than 10% moisture content. So I'm just going to kind of let this simmer open here. And then, we have our exhaust fan here, so it's all going to pull all the moisture out. And the funny thing about it is our facility is in an industrial park. Things like roofers, contractors. There's some folks that make rock, like foam rock for taxidermists. And our exhaust fan kicks out, and every time I go outside, they're like, "Man, I'm cooking today." Like, you shouldn't be cooking like that and then not feeding us. So, yeah, it's kind of funny. Actually, I think what I'm going to do, because there's just so much liquid here, is I'm going to pour off some of this juice. And the thing about it, you didn't know this, a hack is you can save this liquid and use it for like a chicken stock replacement in your cook. So what we'll do is we'll pour that, we'll cool it. Then when we make the chicken marsala, we need to add chicken stock to it. We're going to add this chicken juice back into it, so it's got the flavor. So, yeah. And unfortunately, you won't be able to really see what's going on because I can't really move the camera very much because it's my computer, because I forgot my phone today. So, all right. So this tilts. So what we do is we take this half-size hotel pan, 6-inch deep, and I set it on the floor. And then I take my pot and I set it on top, and that gives enough space to where when this pours, we're not making a mess. And then we take our food grade bin and we stick it down here, like so. And then we push this button, And through the magic of commercial cookware, we can see it starting to tilt up. What it's going to do is this is a spout right here. And it's going to allow me to puff the majority of this liquid so that we can get a good sear on all this. So I can pick my pan up, just kind of hold it here for a second. Now this meat's going to want to fall. It's going to want to make a mess. It's okay. Just like that, we're pouring off liquid. Now I don't need to get all of it, but I do want to get a lot of it because that's just that much more liquid that I don't have to turn any humidity in the air. And time that we have to run the stove. And if I get any chunks that fall in the liquid, it's no big deal. Because we're going to add this back into our cooking stock, or use this for our cooking stock for our sauce later. So the chicken's just going to go right back in anyway. So we're not going to get too greedy with that. We're just going to kind of leave it right there. I use my hands to kind of see if we can not make a mess here. Oh, it's wanting to fall. Okay. Now I can take this guy and we'll limit anything else from falling. All right, I think we're going to call that good. We got a lot of surface area, so we can cook off. How greedy do we want to get? I think that's it. So we'll roll this back, and then I'm going to take it over to the scale and weigh it. See how much. Well, it's 5 liters. Gallon of water is 8.3 pounds. So in 8 pounds of chicken, that was another 8 pounds. I'm really feeling like this 80 pounds of chicken I bought at the store is going to end up being about maybe 50 pounds cooked. Which is why all your restaurant your portions as pre-cooked weight. So your 4-ounce chicken breast started off as 4 ounces. It doesn't come out at 4 ounces. That's why all these people that take a scale to a restaurant steak are stupid. Because it clearly says in their pre-cooked weight. So we're going to heat back on here. Get this stuff spread back out. Just going to let the last of the water evaporate off of there. There we go. And what I really don't want is I don't want a lot of caramelization on there. Now, if you're doing this at home for your own meal, for like dinner to eat fresh, you want that crispy caramelization on the outside. I don't want that because that's going to interfere with only the freeze drying process, but the reconstitution process at the end, it's going to take a lot longer for that meat to reabsorb the moisture and get the texture that we're looking for. So that's why we're not looking for that. We're just looking for a nice all around kind of cook. with just a little bit of that caramelization on there. So I'm going to close this, let a little steam cook action going on. Adjust my, there we go. 2 people on here. Where are you from? What are you up to today? Hit the like button while you're here, please. Doesn't cost you anything. Makes a lot of difference to me. I'm back, and one of you left. That's okay. So, wash hands, glove change. Just went from raw chicken to now we have cooked chicken. So we're everything's hot, so I'm super duper worried about it. But I like to just kind of keep my gloves when it comes to chicken because chicken's gross. So I'm gonna take this guy right here, and we're done with our row your boat paddle. We're gonna switch back to a like a, I don't know, that Japanese restaurant where they cook in front of you. We're gonna grab one of those. One of these guys, right? I don't know what it's called, but that's what we're gonna use. I'm gonna grab this. So, when cooking for, we call this par cooking. When cooking to and storing words, the escape day. So we're cooking right now, and we're not serving this immediately because it's going to go into a freeze dryer. So what we have to do when we get done cooking it is we need to bring it down to a safe temperature for food safety. So we're going to make sure this is completely cooked. Just stir it here so we don't have any burned spots. We're going to temp check a couple of in here, make sure these are all cooked. And then we're going to go into shallow pans that are going to be on this rack right here in front of me that you can't see. And they'll be laid out nice and smooth so that they can cool effectively in the water cooler. So that's our next step. Let me grab a temperature real quick. Yes, very poor production grade, but that's okay. Because the food's pretty awesome. So we are 65. I broke it. I don't know what I did, but it ain't reading right. So we're gonna grab a different one. Now, when doing home cooked things, I'm less concerned. When cooking for other people, especially for storage, we do everything by the book. So we temp check everything, even beef. It's all cooked. That way we know that everything's going to be okay with the food that we're providing for people. And we are not quite there yet. So make sure nothing's trying to stick to the bottom. And we'll close the lid for a minute. This is just a cheapo one that I'm wearing a chef's jacket, keep right here. This fantastic apron that I'm wearing from Special Equipment. There you go. SOE. Typhon is the camo pattern. Toxic grain stitching. It's my jam. So that's what we're using today. It doesn't have a fee there. And I'm not a big fan of like rubbing it on my neck. So this one has a pocket right here that it'll just hang out in. The other one hangs out, it's a little bit higher grade. And I don't want to be responsible for dropping it, even though it's mine, I bought it. It's kind of expensive, so we're not going to do that. So we're just going to give this about, 3 or 4 more minutes, which is going to be forever in no comment land in YouTube because I'm just kind of standing here on the computer. So, yeah, that's what we got going on. After this, we're going to, when we pull this meat, it's going to go to the walk-in fridge and down before it goes to its next step. And if we decide to re-add it to the sauce and then freeze dry the whole thing together, which I typically don't do, we can totally do that and then recool it. It's no big deal. But what we'll probably do is we'll probably go from here into the walk-in. It'll chill, and then we'll go into the freezer, which is this door right there behind me, to pre-freeze, and then it'll go in the freeze dryers from there directly. And then we batch mix at the end, which doesn't give you all of the flavors like if you simmered the chicken in the sauce while you were cooking it. But what it does do is allows for a lot more even freeze drying, and then we use this chicken for a multitude of different meals versus the one thing. So if I mess up the sauce, we're not stuck with that. Whatever. I don't even know what the use case for that would be, but it's just a lot easier to go through. The last batch I did of 2,000 meats, we batch cooked all of the beef and all the chicken, and then we cooked all the sauces separately. And that turned out really, really nicely. And that's how I do my home freeze drying as well, just because it's simplified. It's just one step done. Put all the meat in a bigger bag than you're going to use. Then if you don't get to it, you're good to go. If you decide that, when you're cooking the sauce, if you decide you put too much spice in there or it's too salty or whatever, you're not stuck with that. It's the sauce is the cheap part. And I'm a really big proponent of having lots of protein freeze dried because everything else freezes or cans well typically. But meat is, protein's the harder thing to keep on the shelf stable without pressure canning the tar out of it. And no matter what you do, then it's just stew. And you can only eat so much stew. My teenager he would say that you could eat stew 3 meals a day forever, and he would be happy with that. But most people don't. Most people want a pulled product. They want something a little nicer. So temp check this guy again. Climbing. And as you can see, we have 3 pieces of meat here. Can you read? 165.3. So that's one sample set. Now, does anybody in the comments know chicken has to be cooked to be considered fully cooked? Bueller. What temperature does chicken have to be cooked to? Come on, guys. Not quite here. Anybody? Nobody? Is chicken done when it's cooked to 155? Is it? Do you know? I don't think you do. Chicken is fully cooked at 155 if it holds there for 45 seconds, I believe. So if you're cooking something low and slow, like chicken, and it's at 160 and it's been at 160 for like minutes, it's totally good. Perfectly good. Perfectly healthy. 165 is everybody's go-to number. And so with that, everybody thinks, chicken got to be cooked to 165. No, it needs to be cooked to 165 for like 3 seconds. My hand's not working today. Can we do it? We can't. Wow, okay. 3 seconds. 4 is overkill. 3 seconds. So, we are all well and good done with this. Now, full-size baking sheet. This is not what we freeze dry on, but it's what I use for cooling because I can lay it out really nice. Plus, I have like 12 different racks that I can put it all on. So, back in a minute. All that good? If you're just joining us, we are cooking 80 pounds of chicken breast that we're then going to freeze dry into freeze-dried meals. One of which is challah, which is what we're going to cook next, as soon as this is emptied. All right, just like this. Just like this. Now, if I had thought ahead, I would have pulled a rack out so that I could just go right into the rack. I'm going to have to take these in one by one. It's okay, though. That's probably good. All right. Angry sounds. Chicken. So, in my opinion, this is about the perfect cook for chunks of chicken that you're going to freeze dry. There's a little bit of caramelization on them, not much, just enough to add that little bit of flavor. But the sides are still soft enough and not like crispy to where it'll freeze dry really well. And more importantly, because you can always add more dry time to get something dry. It's a little bit inconvenient. But the biggest thing is you don't want it to have to sit there and reconstitute for 4 hours. A freeze-dried meal, it's supposed to be, ready to go right now. So I'm going to finish grabbing this last bit of chicken here. 80 pounds of chicken breasts turned into full 4 of these hotel-size pans, or full-size sheet pans. We have lots of these pans used for everything, including typically baking the chicken off instead of cooking it like this. So, we're going to move aside. I will be back in just a moment after I get all this stuff put in the walk-in cooler. Keller, I'm back. All right, 80 pounds of chicken in the walk-in cooler, cooling off now. Add back to this. And it's not as much fond on the bottom as I was hoping for, but that's okay. So what we're going to do now is we have Marsala cooking wine. Marsala cooking. So we're going to start working on our chicken marsala. And we're going to deglaze with the wine, making that freeze-dried food. So can anybody tell me the difference between cooking wine and regular drinking wine? Anybody? Bueller. 6 people watching. Oh, everybody left. See, nobody wants to participate. These people are just lame. So, not quite hot enough to deglaze yet. So, we're going to wait just another minute. Now, this here, part of it's one cooking vessel. This is not hot. I can touch it. I can hold it. It's okay. The bottom part's got a bunch of fins. So, let this heat up just a little bit more. And here we go. Start off with about that much. That much, it's like half a gallon. Doesn't look like that much when you're in this big old pan. So, lock all this chickeny goodness off. Give the bottom of the pan a really good zhuzh. Zhuzh. Can anybody hear me? Is this the problem? Is this why nobody's talking? Yo, chef, what's up, boss? How we doing, man? We're just got done firing off 80 pounds of chicken breasts, dice, for chicken marsala, and I am deglazing it right now. Ish. Perfect. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you. What are you up to? What are you up to today, chef? Let's see. So there's our cooking wine. And then, oh, rained in. That's a bummer. And I never heard what happened to your iPad last night. But we're just gonna take these Gila mushrooms. We'll saute them down a little bit. Little cookie. Computer design and sew and address. Wow. Using all those skills you learned from the Versace Velcro, huh? I'm sure Josh made plenty of dresses when you were working with him. Okay. So while that's doing its thing, since I don't have a phone to be doing this live stream, I'm going to do something on my computer real quick. That's going to be super cool. So okay, we're back. A little laggy. Battery. So, I forgot. I also start the onions first. So I'm going to grab those real quick. not going to grab the onions. Because I just remembered in my excitement to get going, I forgot to finish the onions. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let these cook down, and then I will pull them, cool them, and then I'll saute my onions and add these back in and then go from there. So a little bit of an off day with forgetting my phone at home, and then yeah, so computer using different programs to stream to YouTube. It's all right. We're gonna get her whipped up. We're gonna get her whipped. So there is salt in cooking wine. I just added more salt to these mushrooms. A lot of salt. And we cook. And we cook. Yeah, it's a 40-gallon. It's quite large for most things that we've been, like small batches is a pain in the butt. I'm still using the 30-quart raising dish for all our small stuff. But yeah, I cooked off 100 pounds of ground beef in it last time. I think the angle of everything is making it appear bigger. Yes, but 40 gallon. At least I think it's a 40 gallon. I was told it was a 40 gallon. But it is working very well. Very well. While we're here, we'll cut up some onions. When you put the spatula in, it puts more. Yeah. I got my laptop kind of perched up so that you can see what's going on and all of the things. It's a 180-gallon tilt skillet. So when we prep our onions, what we do is we prep them in bulk here. And what it is it's just cut in half, peeled, and just all of the brown bits gone so that we can cuts, roll a dice, move forward, and not have to worry about making a mess. Well, hello, Sarah. I know everybody's favorite thing is to sit here and watch somebody dice onions that you can't even see while there's just stuff being made in the background. But that's okay. We're just here hanging out. I'm cooking anyway. Figured I'd bring you all along for the ride. How much rain you guys getting there, Josh? We got pounded by a big rainstorm the other day. We got a half an inch, and that's a pretty epic rainstorm for around here. Day 2 of nonstop. Wow. I wish we got rain like that here. We're in a, like, call us an arid mountain or something like that. I was telling my wife last night, we get like 12 inches of rain a year. Dry here, so yeah. So most of mine's cooked off now. So what I'm going to do is cook the chicken. There's a lot of chickeny juice. So I pulled that off in reserve. Add that back in, kind of like chicken stock, kind of not really, but that's okay. So, and of course that was way too much. Really, if I was cooking this fresh, I would use a fat butter, ghee, tallow, something of that nature for the mushrooms as well. But because we're freeze drying it, fat doesn't freeze dry well; it goes rancid. So, trying to reduce that. So I'm adapting my recipe. Just I'm cooking it in this big thing today. Adapting the recipe to be a lot lower fat content. But still be yummy at the same time. I made some things in the beginning that went rancid fairly quick. A lot of people say that you have to wash like rinse ground beef before you freeze dry it. And if you use really nice, if you use nice lean burger, make sure to get all the drippings out of it. Typically, it does okay. But I didn't want to do that. Like, not that I didn't want to use lean burger, but I didn't want to rinse the meat. And so we freeze dried a bunch of rotisserie chicken Costco way early on, and those only lasted about 2.5 years. They were like pretty much all rancid. Now I was using those. I did wildland firefighting, and so we were. The food sucks when you go out on wildland fires, and so I always took. When I lived in Africa, we had this box of food with us. It was called the X box. So I just kind of incorporated that into my life here. And because, when you're spending the night out there or whatever. So I just kind of incorporated that here and then really took it to heart on wildland firefighting. And we always had food with us. Well, when we got the freeze dryer, I started taking freeze dried food and just started using it out. So we didn't really lose much, but definitely would have had that check it in 10 years and been angry aspect to it. So yeah, always trying to be fat conscious. But it's still got to be yummy or it's not worth eating. Yeah. Ew. Spatula down. Honestly, it's really not that hard. They don't end them, but I think they still have a nice mouthfeel to them because there's a lot to it. There's it's a fairly thick broth still, even though it doesn't have the fat. But yeah, getting the fat off really. I just do it in our cooking process for TCS. We skim a lot. Yeah, you're right. I'm downplaying it. It is very labor intensive. Now that I actually think about it while I'm talking, I use a big ladle several times through the process to stuff as much as we can, and then when we chill it, the fat kind of rises to the top. But you've got to have the right consistency for it, otherwise it just kind of you've got to leave enough to where it can grab, but not too much to where it's a pain. And reps and sets, but that's the only down part to the freeze broth. Funny thing is I'll tell anybody how to do it, and then I get a lot of people that are like, "I believe you made a business out of doing it because this kind of sucks." It's like, yeah, but if you do it enough, it's all systems, right? Systems and reps and sets. You'd probably be pretty appalled with my knife working skills right now, Josh. My die's not very pretty, but it doesn't have to be. It just needs to get done. I'll wait for the Michelin review of my freeze-dried meals. That'd be something. Well, yeah, that's a bummer, man. A lot of it is not letting it boil so hard that it emulsifies. Exactly. Simmering. You gotta simmer it so that it can, so that you're breaking it down and extracting everything. Plus, a lot of those really good, micronutrients that you want out of the broth. If you boil that marrow and stuff hard, you lose all of that stuff. We're gonna call that good. Move that. I need to get a milk crate for down here on the floor. I'm using a 6-inch half-size steam pan on the floor. Set triple knife for cooking. That's pretty scary. Well, I mean, it works, man. That's awesome. So I'm gonna add a little bit of this zhuzh back in here just to help get out. And then bench knife. This is my favorite part of it. Like, whoever thought of doing this was just an absolute genius. I don't know if it's proper form or not, but I kind of like build it up kind of to here, and you can't really see. But I just take my container and I stick it right underneath there, and I try to scoop up the majority of the salt so that they're not splashing into the liquids and making a mess all over everything. Unfortunately, my kitchen wasn't built, like the concrete wasn't done to be a kitchen, so I don't have a floor drain right here, which would be really nice. So okay. Silence. Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to get probably, I don't know, a half a gallon of water to do it. Can kind of simmer and be happy after I take this thing and put it in the walk-in. And I'm back. 6-inch drain that went into the skillet on top of the floor. Nice. Yeah. Oh, you're right. I didn't think about that. Yeah, everybody. I guess I kind of got caught in the marketing gimmick of, like, oh, we retain the fat. I just kind of attributed it to, whatever. But yeah, you're right. The fat coats the taste buds and causes the palate to not be cleansed. So that's a good point. Yes, I did that on purpose. Oh man. Okay. So kitchen that had a 6-inch drain that went under the skillet on top of the floor that we plugged a drain into for cleaning and wastewater. Yeah. So what we've got going on here is I got a pot filler that I'm waiting for the fish to come for that's right behind there. So that'll be really nice for the broth as well as the cooking and everything. And then you have a dedicated 60 quart pan that's on. I've got a roller, like those furniture keys, the wooden ones from Harbor Freight that have the 4 little wheels on them. Just wash and then pour and then rinse and then pour and then rinse and then pour. And then I take it over to my floor drain, open the valve on it, dump it out. It's not ideal, but it's working for now. The reality is we're probably going to outgrow this kitchen in about 15, 18 months, which is sad because just started using it, but we had quite the spike with our podcast with TJ, and I'm sure once we start getting a little bit more traction, we're going to need all the space. So, but we'll make this one work as long as possible. I actually, when I framed it, so right here is my exhaust hood, 4 feet over, pre-framed above our drop ceiling that we put in. Yeah, growth is great. It's just expensive and time consuming to build a So we have a drop ceiling that I had to put in the kitchen because this is just a big 21-foot ceiling, like basically garage for working on vehicles is what designed for, and or machine shops or whatever. So USDA approved drop ceiling, but because it's at 21 feet, I pre-did all of the hanging above the ceiling for another hood. And then I actually have another hood waiting to go. It's a slightly smaller one, but what it'll probably be for the natural gas steam kettle when I find one, for doing a lot more broth at the same time. So, but I'm really trying to just be grateful for the fact that we have this kick-ass kitchen that we get to work out of. It is ours, and we don't have to share it. And yeah, we get to do what we're going to do. So yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. We've got all sorts of contingency plans for we outgrow here, pushing the kitchen into the shipping area, moving the shipping area, all of the things. Because the hardest part is this. It's the cooking part, the prep space, the space for the freeze dryers. All that's pretty easily expandable. Venting, intake air, natural gas lines, power, all that. So, yeah. And our landlord's the kind of guy where he's like, you want to do what? Okay, rent check's not late. Cool. Do whatever you want. So it's I went to him, and there's actually, so right here is the corner of the kitchen, and there is there was a big garage door there. And I didn't want the garage door there because I was going to have to frame around it, and they leak, and we needed a place for refrigerant lines and for to go. And so I was like, hey, I want to roll the garage door up, pull the tracks off, and basically stay up above the walk-in there, just in a rough fashion, pull the tracks and everything off of it, wall it in, insulate it, so I can run all my protrusions through, because we have, exhaust air for steam. We have intake air for replacement air because we're sucking air out of the building. And then I have a refrigerant line for my walk-in freezer, for the cooler. And then I installed a 5-ton AC unit freeze dryers, because with the low ceiling we had to put in, it was getting so hot the machines weren't working. So now we have an air conditioner for 4,000 square foot house for a 20 by 20 area. It's pretty awesome. Keeps it pretty darn cool in there. Except when you're running this stuff, making a lot of heat. Okay. Oh no. More onion. Yes, I'm just dicing up onions, and nobody can see what we're actually doing. It's great. Ugh. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end the for now. It's been an hour and 27 minutes. Kind of kills the battery on the laptop when you're doing a live stream. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. We cooked off 80 pounds of chicken, got it stored in the fridge so it can cool, so we can roll it in the freeze dryer tomorrow. I deglazed and did 20 pounds of mushrooms, and then we got onion ready to go. So here, after a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and finish up the chicken marsala. So thanks for watching. www.simmerwell.com, website where you can buy all of our things. Our friends at Special Operations Equipment are responsible for this awesome, fantastic, the best apron that I'm wearing. Also, this shirt right here, brought to you by Special Operations Equipment. They make pretty awesome stuff. Check them out. OriginalSOEgear.com, I believe. Horrible with websites, I know. So, yeah, the AC is working great. And the only downside to too big of an AC is if it doesn't run constantly enough, it doesn't pull the out of the air. But other than that, so all right, guys, we'll catch you later. AJ from Simmerwell, simmerwell.com. Peace.